would like to call to order this meeting of the Hampton School Board. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay. Reach a little here. Welcome, everyone. We are going to start the meeting by asking if we have anyone here for public comment on agenda items.
Hi, my name is Amy Hoyt, 90 Mill Road, and I'm here to discuss the tax impact statement not being on the town ballot. Last November, at the Budget Committee meeting, I was the person who asked why the tax impact was not on the sample ballot for the SAU warrant articles. To say the reaction that I got was unfortunate is an understatement. Ms. Curtis, business administrator, became extremely agitated and acted completely unprofessional. This was witnessed by many people. After the meeting, Dr. Costa let me know that she would ask the school lawyer. I did not hear back from her. I also did not reach out to her as I wasn't really motivated to call SAU90 after the way I'd been treated at the previous meeting. Asking for the tax impact to be put on the ballot is not controversial, especially during a year when some residents' taxes went up exponentially. It's a reasonable ask. I would later discover that the video that the SAU presented that evening to gain the recommendation of the Budget Committee stated that the tax impact statements for the warrant articles would be on the ballot. They were not. I approached Dr. Costa at the deliberative session and asked if she had talked to the lawyer. She said she had and explained that the lawyer advised her not to put the tax impact on the ballot. I asked who the lawyer was and what the reasoning was, and I didn't get an answer. Moving on to the October 29th meeting a couple weeks ago, how surprised was I to watch Ms. Curtis, the business administrator, and her dialogue around this topic. She stated, referring to the tax impact, that she could but would not put the impact on the ballot. She addressed the board and said the board could ask her to put the tax impact on the ballot, but you didn't. And that a lawyer by the name of Mr. Gordon Graham advised her not to do it because it would be confusing to voters. She then disclosed that the SAU was supposed to have put a warrant article to the voters as far back as 2012, asking them if they wanted this information on the ballot. As I stand here tonight, the only reason I have from you to not put this information on the ballot to the voters is that voters would be confused. Ms. Curtis did outline a few options that I think should be considered by this board. If the main objective is to get this year's budget passed, the easiest way to be transparent to the most amount of people would be to put the tax impact on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else here for public comment?
Hi, good evening. Erin Hobbs, 8 Heritage Drive.
Megan Holbrook, Presidential Circle.
We are here tonight to announce that the Friends of Hampton, New Hampshire Schools is a registered nonprofit with the state of New Hampshire, and we are here to tell the community about our organization and announce our launch and fundraising campaign starting this week. Friends of Hampton Schools' mission is to enhance the educational experience of each and every student attending Hampton, New Hampshire schools by providing resources, support, and opportunities in furtherance of student academics, arts, athletics, and extracurricular activities. To reach this goal, our organization will be working collaboratively with school administrators and teachers to identify innovative learning and engagement opportunities that go beyond the school's budget. This can include a variety of initiatives, but our first goal is to support the financially disadvantaged students on the upcoming DC trip. It is important to note that our organization will allocate all funds as a gift to the receiving school for specified use, and we are aware that the acceptance of such gifts will require a vote of approval by the school committee. As our organization grows, we are hoping to expand our reach by funding a variety of enrichment opportunities in all SAU90 schools and Winnicott High School. I would like to extend an invite to the board and community to join us this Sunday at WIM for our kickoff event from 4 to 7. We are looking forward to discussing our mission with the community and begin our fundraising efforts. The community can also follow us on Facebook at Friends of Hampton Schools. And lastly, we are happy to share any information with any school administrators, especially if they want to spotlight it in their newsletters. We value a strong collaborative effort as we work towards our goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, do we have anyone else here for public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we will table the rest of our time until the end of our regular meeting, where we'll revisit that. We are now going to do school board member updates. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually should make a note, that Mrs. St. Jean is absent this evening. It is because of a conflict with the budget committee meeting. And she did feel that, as a good representative of the school board to the budget committee, that she was going to prioritize that meeting this month. So she is there. Building and facilities, Mrs. Elliott, do you guys have anything this month? Okay. You want to go ahead?
So one update through the PTA may be looking at a new piece of playground equipment. And I am told that the HVAC project will be wrapped up at Center School Thanksgiving.
Nice. That's good to know. Mrs. Shepherd, do we have anything on curriculum, or if you want to hit all of your stuff at one time, that's fine.
All my stuff.
Sure, everything.
First of all, with curriculum at Hampton Academy, they're using Delta Math, which is a digital resource to help adapt assignments. And I thought it was especially for extended learning opportunities for maybe more advanced problems, and adapts assignments for students' needs and gives feedback through the program, which I thought. Hampton Academy Computer, they're using design software, 3D printing technology, which again is enhancing that computer curriculum really nicely. And social studies, grade 6, they took their passports and became world travelers, which again I thought, they're really extending the learning opportunities in so many ways. And I was fortunate to actually experience grade 7 working on hurricanes and hurricaneography project for all our future meteorologists, which was really fun. It was a good time. I'd like to talk just briefly, though, about professional development, because I think, or I believe, that a lot of people in the community and in the public don't know the extent of how much professional development has to be done by the staff in our schools. And I would just like to hit a little bit of this. The professional development, Hampton Academy, I believe they're meeting either tomorrow or Thursday with demonstrated success. It said like one date, but then it said Wednesday, so I didn't have the right date. But anyway.
It's actually tomorrow.
Yeah, they're working on, again, differentiating instruction and extending learning opportunities, which is amazing. Also, there are other, the 504 coordinators, for instance, have been participating in Drummond and Woodsum 3-part virtual series. Administrators and representatives did a virtual Indicators 11 training on doing evaluations. Tim Smith has been going to Cybersecurity Summit, again, and then in return giving PD to teachers. And a lot of this has to happen during the day, and a lot of it has to be done on their own time. The thing that I would really like to emphasize here is, again, the staff, all of them, need to do meaningful food allergies, use of an EpiPen, AVQ, did I say that correctly? Glucagon administration, use of Baqsimi, did I say that correctly? Okay, because some of these things I've never heard of, but suicide prevention, ALICE training, DCYF reporting, bloodborne pathogens, cybersecurity basics, stop the bleed, social media ethics, ethics and code of conduct, bullying, cyberbullying, prevention workshops, preventing harassment in the workplace. All of these things the staff has to do on their own, in addition to everything else that they're working on. And I don't mean to make it sound like, oh, woe is me for the staff, but I just want people to be aware that they are constantly, daily, weekly, monthly, throughout the year, making sure that their professional development is occurring in all aspects of the school setting. And I really wanted to emphasize that and thank them for, I mean, they have to do it to keep their certification and licensing, but it's not just that. It's really encompassing the whole child and the whole school and making sure they are as prepared as they can be in the event of, who knows, 100 different things coming their way on any given day. So I wanted to just put that out there.
Great. And I think a lot of that has to be done like by October 31st.
Correct.
Right, like really early in the year. All right, well, thank you. I don't think we really have anything big for legislative yet. Do we know has there been any discussion about getting the first meeting with SAU91 and the legislators? We usually start thinking about that around December,
Yeah.
January.
That typically happens in January. It will
okay.
happen, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's see, what else? I don't have any particular reports from the NHSBA. Looks like you guys had a policy meeting. We have a number of policies on the agenda tonight. Did you guys have anything else to add? Okay. Professional development. Do you guys have any announcements for the PTA?
Let's see if I get this all. There's a food drive coming up at Marston that I think kicks off December 1st. There's an ongoing food drive at Center. The Interact Club at the Academy, which is newly formed, is both looking for volunteers to do a community food pantry shop at 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. on the 29th. So they're looking for middle school volunteers to select food for food insecure folks in town on that day. So talk to your kids about that. They're also looking for volunteering opportunities. So any local business or local organization that may have an opportunity for student participation in a volunteer capacity, they are very hungry to participate there. And I am told that you can reach out to Mr. Doherty, Mrs. Bowen, or Mrs. Tombarelli at the Academy, and they will point you in the right direction.
Leaving myself a note about Interact Club so they can do stuff at the library. Okay, but I am the next person to talk. Sorry about that. So, Recreation Department, I did want to note, I think everybody's probably going to have their own updates on the holiday parade that's coming up on the 6th, but the Rec Department does want to remind everyone of the tree lighting that has moved to Founders Park. That is going to be December 5th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. If you went last year, it was a really, really great time, and I think it's going to be even better. They've expanded it. They've added lighting in different parts of the green and Tuck Field and Founders Park. It's going to be a fantastic event, so we hope everybody can join us for that. I think that's about it. All right, I think we can move on to reports. Mr. Robitaille.
Good evening, everyone. Just to recap a few events that occurred throughout the month of October over at Center School. We did have our all-school meeting on the one anti-bullying presentation that was led by our school guidance counselor and the integrated arts team, which kind of kicks off our building levels anti-bullying initiative, which leads into the OVAS lessons that happen in all of the classrooms. So that went very well between our IA team. We also had Coach Jackie came back to help us out with that. It's always a crowd pleaser for the students. We also had our zones of regulation kind of kickoff meeting for the year as well. We separate kindergarten from grades 1 and 2. And zones of regulation is an SEL tool we use building-wide so that students can associate how they're feeling with a color and the emotions that come along with it. And they're always trying to make their way back to the green zone, but we also talk a lot about how all zones are okay places to be, and the tools that we need to kind of get back to green if we're not having a great day or something's going on. So I appreciate those teams putting those presentations together for our students. We also had our Halloween parade on the 31st. I appreciate all the community members that came out to support our kiddos. That's a huge deal for them, a really big event, and it went off very smoothly. We also just came from the PTA meeting, so a big thanks to them for getting the trunk or treat back up and running. I was able to stop by at the beginning for a little bit with my son. He's only 2, but he was very interested in everything. So thank you to them for getting that back up and running. We also brought back our Veterans Day Assembly, which I know the other 2 buildings have strong histories of. I believe Center did one at one point, but we had about 23 veterans show up for our afternoon assembly. So it was good for the student, our youngest students to be able to see veterans in their community, many being family members of current students. We have parent-teacher conferences coming up, so our primary dates are going to be Thursday of this week and then Monday the 24th next week. So again, great opportunities for families to come out, talk with their classroom teachers, make sure they have a good sense of how the year has started off, and if we need to get any feedback from families as they're their child's greatest advocate. Report cards for trimester 1 will be available in Alma on Monday, December 7th. Noted that our food drive is up and running. We connect with St. Vincent de Paul, and all that is donated will be picked up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving recess. Our Hatch Play Group is finally getting off the ground, so that's restarting on Fridays. This Friday, November 21st, will be the first meeting of that group. It's from 9 to 10:30. There's been an active post in my newsletter. There is a link for registration. Patrice Baker is the contact if anybody has any questions. And then we just have a lot of stuff going on. It's a very busy time. The teachers are doing a great job, but it is, there's just a lot going on. It's all good stuff, but it's just a busy time to be at Center School. So appreciate the board's support, and if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Sadler?
Hello. It's November and December. It's a wonderful time in an elementary school. We'll have conferences as well on Thursday and Monday. And just again, a shout out to the PTA, not for this, but just the ongoing things they're continuously doing for our schools. It's great. As stated before, we are doing our Lend a Hand food drive. Ours is slightly different in that we're doing it even more different, but we're looking for not only things like for a traditional meal, but we try to offset. Some families are home for 8-9 days, so snacks and other food items. So think about if you're bringing your children a lunch, what might you pack? And those are the types of things we'll be looking for. And on the other side, we know that there's a lot of food pantries in Hampton that are low stock right now, and we always produce a tremendous amount of food. So once we've given to families, we then like to take the excess and bring it to local food pantries. So that'll be happening from around the 1st till the 15th, which then gives us time through the remainder of the week to get it distributed and in people's hands before the break. And then on the 6th of December, we'll be part of the Hampton Christmas or Holiday Parade this year. So we'll send some information out from each of the 3 schools about how we do it. I know at Marston, we're always looking for students to march. We just need at least one caring adult to be in charge of those students, just to keep them safe on the parade route and account for them when we get down to the end. So I know in the past we've had, one parent, 6 or 7 kids, and that's great. But if you don't have an organization already in town that you're participating with, you can always come with the schools, and we love it. Other than that, we're just, looking forward to a busy December and, a great time. It's hectic, but it's wonderful and joyous. So excited about it coming up. Questions about my report or anything going on?
Just want to comment on the New Hampshire Energy Education Program. I had an opportunity to see that last week. It was pretty exciting. I think
Oh, yeah.
the kids really enjoyed it. Some great pictures and
5th grade found that, and it's a free offering. So it's, and it ties right into their science units. It's hands-on demonstrations and explorations for the students. Every time they come, we get a lot of information from the kids and persuasive writing about getting solar panels for the school and things like that. But it's a great opportunity, so I appreciate it. And the kids were pumped. They saw Dr. Costa there, but it's a lot of fun stuff. So appreciate that.
and a great Veterans Day assembly.
Yeah, it was, the office keeps counting on everyone signs in. Probably one of our biggest crowds in terms of veterans. It was awesome. We had a lot of people who were like, we've never heard of this before. And I was like, tell your friends and spread the word. But it's just really meaningful and impactful for the kids when there's actual veterans in the audience and they understand like we're celebrating them. They've done, and it's more than just something you're reading about or watching. We're fortunate that we have so many people willing to give their time to come back and celebrate with us. And again, we do it in May and the Memorial Day. It takes a little more somber tone, more about remembrance, but Veterans Day is a big celebration, and we really enjoy it every year. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
All right, Dr. Campbell, please join us.
All right. Hello, everyone. I will start off with our Washington, D.C. report that we have here. Got a worksheet for you. So just wanted to cue everyone in on where we are. Just a reminder, we have 95 students in our 8th grade. Cost for the trip with insurance is $1,265. Right now, we expect to have 80 students traveling with us, but our final numbers are due on December 3rd. So we're trying to reach out to as many people as we can to make sure that everyone who wants to go has the opportunity to go. We have 75 students registered as of the 16th. Sorry for that typo. And 76 have paid insurance dues through Students Love Travel. The insurance has to be paid, and then they're able to keep monthly payments throughout to keep up, to break up the cost, so it's not a one-sum payment. 8 students so far have now turned in the required paperwork. Emails and phone calls have been made to the families as of 11/13. 7 students have completely opted out of the trip, who decided that it's not appropriate for them. Our fundraising so far, our seafood festival was about $500. Chick-fil-A, which was held a couple weeks ago, was really successful. We had $950. Our PTA donated $4,000, and our collaboration with Mac 5 T-shirts so far has been $476. We expect that that's going to continue to go as the holiday season comes up. I'll touch base a little bit more about the Mac 5 T-shirt collaboration in my board report. Our individual fundraisers, the calendars that the 8th graders do, is used to offset the trip cost per student. Our we had about 31 students raise under $100 to offset their cost. We had 39 students raise between $100 and $399 off of their trip. And we had 22 students earn over $400 or more to offset that trip by the calendars. Big thanks to Judith Clark and Andrea Dutton for putting those together. In total, we've earned roughly $7,000 and $8,000, between $7,000 and $8,000 to offset the cost of those individual fundraisers. Our upcoming fundraisers on December 15th from 4 to 7, we have collaborated with the Community Oven again. We'll get a proceed of the amount of total sales by the end of the night. Included at the door, we'll have 50-50 raffles and raffle off gift baskets. We're also continuing to work on potential fundraisers, which we have not reached out yet, but we are working on the several places. I put 2 of them on the report for you. Our student financial assistance, I put those numbers there for you. We're looking, total assistance that we estimate to have is approximately $6,000, but we're currently in a really good state to cover that between the budgeted amount and the SAU and our student activity fund. One thing there we are, and I did send out a letter to the 8th grade parents, we're still currently looking for an overnight field trip nurse. I received an email today, someone who might have been interested. We do have a posting opened up on SAU90 if anyone would willing to participate. But if we were to contract with an overnight nurse, remember the cost would be roughly anywhere from $5,000 and $6,000 was what they quoted me. Depending on if there was any emergencies that happened overnight, that cost might go up because it is an hourly rate. There is a per diem rate that they have hourly, and then they have an on-call overnight. So that's something that we are prepared to move forward and facilitate as far as medication and monitoring student health around the trip if we are unable to fulfill this. But if we're talking about needs, that's one of the areas of needs. We have also done a tentative stay-back plan for our students, which you can see. Our theme would be Discovering Hampton. That would involve visiting Town Hall, having picnics, beach cleanups, tuck field play, attending an art gallery, and just making sure that the students around the area are really familiar with discovering what all the great things that Hampton has to offer. Again, this is tentative, and so things might change areas, days, and depending on availability. Before I move into my board report, does anyone have any questions on that DC information?
Anybody? So
that I found?
this is fantastic. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. I
no
think
problem.
this is exactly what we were looking for. So big thanks to Mrs. Clark, Mrs. Dutton, Mrs. York, I'm guessing, and you for putting all of this together.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is
thank you to
fantastic.
everyone. It's
Yep.
the team
this
has
is a
definitely
big trip,
stepped up.
and
So
it requires a lot of man hours, woman hours, person
Yeah.
hours to get it all together. So we appreciate that.
on to, if you guys don't have any more questions, on to my board report. Just would like to start off that Hampton Academy was recently ranked 13th best school in New Hampshire by U.S. News and World Report. It's definitely very nice to be recognized for the hard work that we do. Ms. Shepard has definitely highlighted some of the requirements that we're asking our teachers to do, and this is a testament to them. They really work hard and they put their students first, and I'm really proud to represent them. The second thing I would like to bring up is a copy that I provided to you, is a copy of our middle magazine. I'm also going to provide, I'm just going to launch this up here. This is one of our tier 1 interventions that extension opportunities that we had for our WIN block. And this is the middle magazine brought to us by Miss Nato in our 7th grade. One of the classes that we had offered and elected into. And I'm just going to scroll through a couple of these things. This is completely student generated with the guidance of Miss Nato. As you can see, these are the students in the class with their pictures. And we really go into some of the important things that they feel, which is really great to see. Your healthy lifestyle, back to school mental health team that people can go to, explaining the different rooms. So when we bring these things up and people go here, we really have a sense of why people are attending these different rooms and the purpose for them, the importance of staying organized, especially in our lockers, which I really appreciate. Studying habits, and it just goes on. Staying focused in your classroom, tips from other students. It's really cute to see where these kids are coming from. Here are some, this is explaining our WIN block, and down to our spotlight with our Interact Club, which is a new club that we're really excited to highlight. Thank you very much to Mr. Doherty for bringing this back. And now we go into our little sports section, and Miss Levine's favorite page, which was the best ski hills for the winter. We're excited about that. So you can see this is just some of the things that our students are able to generate. This is, again, our 7th grade WIN block. And, I think we can use this as we do look at our win blocks as opportunities to differentiate for students in different levels. So really excited. Thank you very much to Ms. Nato for bringing this. If you have any more questions about that, I can definitely go back to it. But while we were out, our 6th grade attended the Camp Mira Vista environmental camp, where they took part in outdoor environmental education and team building and leadership activities. These activities are brought back to our advisory programs, and we're looking to build up on that. It was a great opportunity for our students and staff and our students to connect. So thank you very much to them and all the hard work that they put in. We did again attend the MTSS training, and so one of the more important things that we learned here from that training is that we're a little bit ahead of the game. I think it's really great to see all the great work that's been laid out. We learned a lot from it, and we're able to take where we are and blaze a path forward. So we're really excited about that. I do apologize for the typo. Tomorrow we do have demonstrated success coming in to work on professional development for differentiation, which is super important with our class. And to piggyback on that, we integrated, just like Ms. Shepard had said, the Delta Math integration. It's a program that I used when I was teaching math, and it was a great opportunity to highlight students and really focus them in on areas that they need support in an immediate sense. So if a teacher is able to see that a student is not working well with fractions, they can quickly create a couple of work packets for them or an assignment for them to do on the spot, and they can work on that and provide the individualized help with examples and videos. And it's a really successful tool. Some of our new teachers came over from Timberlane. They were using it. I had brought it there, and so I'm hopeful that we have the same success here. Moving on to the back, we have our Hampton Academy decals and logos. Again, this is a partnership that we have with Mac5, with the Mac5 printing company. Our 8th graders designed the logos. When the winners featured on a new clothing line, our 7th and 8th graders voted on the favorites. And so in our link in our Friday newsletter, you'll be able to see those logos and have them for sale. Again, thank you very much to the Mac5 printing company. Those proceeds go to the schools. In our 6th grade in Mr. Gray's class in technology is a 3D boat printing, which was a really cool assignment that they did last year. We are going to highlight that we're going to highlight that in the next board meeting. So I know Ms. Shepard had touched upon the geography day and the hurricane project, which were excellent to see. Students were working really well with all the information up in our library, brought to us by Mary Saunders. Mary Saunders was able to really utilize her tool and help our teachers expand and provide resources that were effective for our students to help analyze trends within our hurricane systems and then create their own hurricane. Hopefully none of them hit this way. For communication, our parent-teacher conferences will be held on tomorrow and on Thursday. I will be holding coffee and conversation tomorrow from 10 to 10:45 in the community room. Again, I'll send out a link via Reach My Teach if anyone cannot join in person. And kind of our Shark News is something that I really wanted to highlight, and actually I'm going to post a video that the Shark News students over at Shark News had created about our community day down at the beach. It was really impressive. As a ELO coordinator at Timberlane, I was really trying to create something as special as what these kids are able to do. So the video that you see here of our community beach cleanup was all shot and edited by students at Hampton Academy. Thanks, Nick.
Hello, I'm Luca, and I'm here with our own teacher, Mr. Grippo. I'm going to be asking him a few questions. So, Mr. Gripper, how did this whole thing come together?
Wow. Well, it came together probably over a couple of years. We've done some really small beach cleanups with Mrs. Heath's ELP program. And last year we decided, how do we make that even bigger, larger? And when I'm not at school, I work for an organization called Surfrider Foundation, and myself and some other folks run the New Hampshire chapter.
Hello, I'm Gracie at Shark News. Today I'm with Junie and we're here to talk about the Hampton Academy School beach cleanup. So what was your favorite part about this beach cleanup?
I really liked getting to be at the beach and hang out with all my friends, and it was nice to make an impact and get to clean up all the trash.
I really liked it. It was a bunch of fun being at the beach and being able to be a part of the community.
Our group collected a lot of trash, and I realized how much trash is on the beach, and it doesn't look like there's a lot here, but there is.
Maybe next time you go to the beach, if you see any trash, pick it up.
Clean up more and take more care of our environment.
Maybe not use plastic as much, or next time I go to the beach, make sure I clean up all my trash and pick up all the trash around me. I thought the craziest thing we found was a shoe. That's actually really interesting. Which I saw a lot of them before. Was a bunch of straws and cardboard. I don't know why there was lots of cardboard, but we were.
I saw it in my homeroom teacher's bucket a bathing suit. It was like a 5-year-old's bathing suit.
I love that.
Hi, OT. Oh, hey. So, you were here with us for the beach cleanup, right?
Yes, I was.
And did you have fun driving in that?
Oh my gosh, we had the best day ever. The weather was beautiful. Gus had a ton of fun in the ATV, and you guys did a really good job cleaning up the beach.
Although the beach might look clean, it's really, really dirty, much more than you would think. And we have tarps full of stuff just over there right now that we have to count through. It's a way to make a school-wide beach cleanup for 6th, 7th, 8th grade, so everyone at the school can get involved and play a part in creating a cleaner beach for us.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah.
Very nice, Neil.
We put it in our board meeting in our board memo, but I just wanted an opportunity to highlight that for the community. This is really unique to our school, and it's great to see how advanced our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders can utilize and edit and shoot and know exactly how to do it. So really, really something that sets us apart. As for us to focus a little bit more on culture and community, tomorrow we'll have UNH volleyball read Bully Beans to our 6th grade students. We had them last year. It was a great opportunity to discuss what it means to be a bystander. How do we stand up to bullying? Our school counseling department will be leading more age-appropriate bullying and bystander lessons during their WIN block. Thank you very much again to our school counseling for an excellent Red Ribbon Week. Our Universal team really was able to help us tie in more bullying, anti-bullying and anti-drug awareness to that week. Our Students of the Month, big congratulations to Camden Isaac, David Lehman, Caitlin Curtis, Emma Hayfie, Tim Curtis, Lila Hartman, Colin Milberg, and Logan Griggs for their excellent work this year. Our Veterans Day speakers, we can't thank them enough. Their stories provide meaningful insight. Thank you very much to Susie Frost for organizing the collection of 288 pounds of candy that's going to be donated to the troops. I don't know if the dentists are appreciative of that, but I know I am. And we have our school book fair going on the 17th to the 25th. So if parents are in for parent-teacher conference night, please go up to the library and take a look. We have our school dance sponsored by our student council on December 5th from 4 to 5:30 for 6th grade, 6 to 7:30 for 8th grade. Our band will be on December 8th. Our band concert will be at 6 p.m. Like I said, we have the community oven, and check out for December auditions for the Academy players will be coming up soon, and more communication will be out for that. I do believe that is it for my board report. With that said, does anyone have any questions?
I don't necessarily have a question, but I do have, how can we get this and Shark News out to the community more?
Yeah, I think that was my goal in trying to highlight this, and so knowing that this is broadcast on our TVs, this is something that I really wanted to highlight. So,
I would even think that maybe, I don't know how many you could use, but down at the town offices, over at the library.
Certainly over at the library, we have a spot. It does unfortunately cost money to print, but.
But it's an investment, though,
Yes.
that I think would go
Agreed.
a long way if we can get people out in the public who don't necessarily have kids in the schools to see this, because it's a good quality product here, and all student produced. The other thing is the Shark News and things like that. I don't know. Do you have at the library? Is there a
There
running
is
TV?
not. I mean, I know that it at least used to be published on YouTube, if I remember correct. So
it's still published on YouTube, on our YouTube page, so everyone can
Yeah.
access it. We did send out the link. What was that?
Channel 8.
But
as well.
Channel 8 it
Yeah.
shows, and so, like I said, we do a lot of great things here, and so we just wanted to take a moment to highlight them. Most importantly, all the great work that the students are able to do, and all the great learning that they're already able to do.
Okay. It could be a cool fundraising idea to gift someone a subscription. I would definitely sign up if I had the opportunity.
Thank you.
And WMUR, I think, has picked up the beach cleanup, hasn't it, Dr. Campbell?
I don't know. I always try to hold my breath and then see what happens on those things. That would be great if WMUR.
Yeah.
We have been in contact with
They
them.
did reach out.
I know we've made news out in California with this beach cleanup. It was one of the biggest beach cleanups. First time a whole school had ever done a beach cleanup in partnership with the Surfrider Foundation. It was a very big beach cleanup and pro-ocean organization throughout the country and maybe around the world. So.
A big thank you to Mr. Grippo and to Dr. Campbell. So what everyone might not know is it's been one of Dr. Campbell's goals since he got here, was to basically bring our students here at the Academy and get them more involved with this great natural resource that we have right down the street. And that was
we have
that was a
very
great
unique,
way to do it.
Very unique community, one of the best in the world, I would say. Really trying to connect the students to the natural resources that they have here. I think I attended one of Mr. Grippo's beach cleanups over at Genesee Beach a couple months ago, and one of my students from New York was running the local chapter. So it made a big impact that she decided that this was the pursuit that she was going to do for her in a career. So I was very surprised. But
Does anybody have any more questions or comments after your marathon session?
no, sorry.
No?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you very much for the time, everyone.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Ms. Jensen, please join us.
So part of my report is going to be a little bit redundant because Ms. Shepard beat me to it. So we had staff attend an Indicator 11 training through the NHED on November 3rd. Indicator 11 is reflective of timely evaluation, specifically for initial evaluation. So for students who are initially referred to special education. I had a member from each of our buildings attend, along with an administrator from each building, because we understand how vital it is to make sure that we are keeping abreast of any changes and really looking at how to remain in compliance with all of our state and federal guidelines. And it's important to note that there has been a change. New Hampshire has more strict guidelines in the federal government. So they are reflecting that when they are giving us our percentages of compliance. So for example, the federal government says that districts have 60 days in which to complete the evaluations, but that doesn't talk about how long it takes to meet with the parents to review the evaluations, whereas the state of New Hampshire gives us 60 days to complete the entire process. So that's just one change that we're keeping updated on. The 504 coordinators across the district, along with members of administration, have been participating in that 3-day 504 training. It's been great. It's really been great to have us all in one room so that if questions arise, we can kind of talk to each other about them. We had the second session this afternoon from 12 to 1:30. And then the final session is right after Thanksgiving. We're really looking to align what we're doing across our buildings to help support students. The next piece of my report is really about the LEA determination process. So I didn't know if you wanted me to do the slide deck now or to come back and do it, whatever works for you.
I think we can do it now. That's fine. Yeah.
Perfect.
If you're okay with that.
I queued Tim up. As we get talking about the LEA determination process, I really want to point out that this is not meant to be an I gotcha from the state. The hard thing to wrap your head around is that we received the LEA determinations in April, but they're for the previous year. So the determinations we got in April 2025 were reflective of the 23-24 school year. So if we have changes to make, when we get our LEA determination this April of 2026, it's going to be from last year, not about anything we may be doing this year. So I really just want to get to what are the determinations, what do they mean, where are we, how are these scores determined, when do they come out, and some of our next steps. And within my board report, I kind of outlined some of that as well. Really what they are the U.S. Department Office of Special Education Programming needs to make sure that states are holding districts accountable for following guidelines. So this is really how New Hampshire is doing that. I will be the first to admit I've been in many, many state meetings where, honestly, this is a somewhat flawed procedure, and the state will share that with you. Like when you talk to them, they'll say, yes, we know, but we're trying this for X amount of time, and then we're gonna make some adjustments. The other hard thing to kind of think about is in this, when you receive a score, you can receive a 0, 1, or a 2. 0 is good, 2 is bad. Not really bad, but it's not what you want. So it's unlike everything else where the higher the number, the better. So as I had mentioned, we receive this every April. And really, this doesn't indicate that the district is doing anything right or wrong, honestly. This just shows areas of potential risk where the state may say, hey, you have more students who are out of the classroom than other districts or than our state targets. Or, your scores may not be where we would expect them to be. Things like that. It's not saying you are wrong in any way, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit more in a moment.
Just for the public, can you say the acronym LEA, what it means for people in the public that might not know?
It's local area agency. It's each district.
Local?
Educational agency.
Right. I just want people to know what these acronyms mean when we throw them
Sure.
around.
Thank you so much for that. We live in this world, and sometimes we forget. So really, the whole point of this is to be able to offer support to districts if they need it. This is really the way that the state is helping to provide some oversight and guidance and identify areas that may require some additional training or support that they can help, and areas that they can help out. And some of that could also be allocating resources to specific districts who may need some extra help. The way that that the data is collected is through a variety of means. So one way is through Nessus. That is the New Hampshire Educator Information System. All of our IEPs are written within Nessus. So the state can pull information from that. Another is GMS, which stands for Grants Management System. So all of our grants through the state are in that system, so they can look at things like, did you allocate all of your money? Were your reports submitted on time? They also can look at I4C data or do a desk audit. Honestly, the state has not done a desk audit in a number of years because, frankly, they don't have the staff at this point to do it. So data is calculated using point values and percentages, and there is a rubric. And then a determination category is assigned to each section of the rubric, which informs the overall determination. So there are really 4 sections of the rubric. You can be in meets requirements, which means you scored in a way that the state was like, okay, we don't need to do anything further. You could be needs assistance, where they're gonna ask you to look at things and see if there's any areas that may need tweaking. You could be in needs intervention, where you have an outline of things that have to be done. You need to do a root cause analysis. You need to try to look at, why you may have scored the way that you did. Meeting with Lexi Ferrero at the state, she's the first person to say, it doesn't necessarily mean anything needs to be changed. The way your programs are, you may come up higher having students outside of the general classroom if you have specialized programs. Currently, there are no districts in the state that need substantial intervention. So that's a good thing. The determinations look at 4 components: results-based assessment, compliance, and additional or other factors. So results-based is that section about whether or not students are receiving special education services within the general classroom setting. Assessment looks at proficiency scores, and this is one that a lot of people in the state have a really hard time with. So what happens is they look at our state scores and they look at the number of students on IEPs who are proficient versus the number of students in regular education who are proficient. And if there is a gap, you may get points for that. A lot of the directors have talked and said if we have students on IEPs, they obviously have learning disabilities. So how does that work? And the state says, we understand that, but this is what we're looking at. The other thing in this assessment category, parents in New Hampshire are able to opt their students out of state testing. We understand that that is 100% a parental option. It is up to them. However, if a parent of a special education student opts out of state testing, it gets held against us. The state wants 100% participation in state testing, so if we have any students who opt out, we automatically get points on that section. Again, we've talked to the state about that, and they're like, yep, we get it. So I'm hopeful that later on we will have some additional, better rubric ideas. So at this point, Hampton is a district that needs intervention. So we have done a bunch of things. We have sat down as a leadership team. We started this over the summer. We attended a workshop with the state, just kind of about what this rubric looks like and what it is. We did a root cause analysis. We have this whole timeline. So we actually had until November to submit our root cause analysis and action plan, but I submitted it, I think, at the end of September. And so we're well on our way and working on it. One thing we noticed, because one area that we had some at-risk areas was really looking at that results-based and the percentage of students outside the general curriculum. As the team was looking, our hours for each building, kids are here 6.5 hours a day, was listed at 5.5. It was a state mistake. It's nothing we could fix on our own. I had to reach out to the state and say, hey, all 3 of our buildings are listed at 5.5 hours, which drastically increases your percent out of the general ed classroom when you're looking at 5.5 versus 6.5 hours. Honestly, I think in that category, that probably will take care of a lot of it. We met today, reviewed every single IEP, looking at that. And at this point, we seem to be in good shape for the amount of time our students are spending outside of the classroom. But for our next one of our next leadership meetings, we're really going to be talking about, are there areas of PD that we think we should have staff go to in order to make sure that we are checking all of the boxes and doing all that we need to do. And I think, again, the thing to remember is that when we get the determination in April, it may not reflect that we just adjusted those school hours, because I had those adjusted over the summer, and the LEA determination is for last year. So a lot of those IEPs last year may still have had incorrect hours. Does anybody have questions? I know that's kind of a lot of information, and at this point, this is probably the 6th or 7th time I've given this. So, so go ahead and ask.
Yeah, go ahead. Or do we have any statistics on how many parents in Hampton opted out of this and how that impacted our results?
I don't know, but I can tell you that as soon as one does, we get a 1. And assessment was an area that we had listed as at risk. And you know what? I mean, I think that realistically, we love all of the kids to take it, but it may not be appropriate, and that's a parental choice. And, as much as those 1 or 2 points may have added to that overall at-risk percentage, it's probably not going to make or break everything. That's a great question, though.
Everybody else good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's hard
very
not to
much.
take it personally, though.
I know.
right?
I know. It is.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And thanks for kind of jumping on this right when you came in. We appreciate it. All right. I've lost track of who's next. Sorry. We don't have the we don't have our agendas printed out. Oh, here we go. Mr. Smith. I expect you guys to just get up when it's your turn.
Hello. So I don't really have too much to add. I do want to comment on the Shark News piece. It is available on YouTube. It does play on Channel 8. And then we are still in the process of working out some bugs with the Cablecast app to get our Channel 8 channel up on that so people can actually watch it on demand directly through that application. But other than that, we've been just humming along, working on all the things that we typically work on. And as mentioned by Ms. Shepard, I did attend a cybersecurity summit at the state level. It was really informative, gave some clear ideas of things that are going on and how education institutions are high-risk targets right now. So we are doing everything we can to work on addressing and buttoning up any issues that we may identify. So with that, I open it up to questions.
Are you doing a lot of work with the teachers on AI?
So Mr. Giarusso has started doing some refresher work with the AI stuff that we rolled out last year, just kind of reviewing it for differentiation. Beyond that, we haven't really ventured too much into it, just because we're trying to make sure that we're using the tools that are appropriate for eventual use with students, because we want teachers to become very well versed in the use of those products before we actually start rolling it out to students to be using it.
I think we're all set.
Thank
you
you.
very much. All right. Mr. Harrington.
Just got a few things to update on. Building use is starting to ramp up for us right now with HYA basketball and Hampton Academy basketball started. Practices every night but Friday night for the most part. Game's going to start in December for those 2 programs. We had our fire and life safety inspections. They were conducted at each school on October 20th with Inspector Kyle Averill, the Hampton Fire Department. There were no corrective actions that need to be addressed, which is a good thing. Had a couple roof repairs over at Center School to combat that leak that has been ongoing in the boiler room by the nurse's office. After the last heavy rain, I'm pretty hopeful that we might actually have it on the run, which is a good thing. Also, we have the leaning weather vane, Andrea, we had looked at the other day. Yeah, I'm waiting on a quote for that. Had somebody up climbing on the roof. I did not go up there with him. We've been shuffling some staff. We've had some illnesses over at Center School, so everybody's been jumping on board and helping out over there. Right now, we got the crew from Marston. They've been about 8:30 heading over there every night after they, get what they can done at Marston, and they head over to Center School to take care of what they can over there. That's pretty much it. We've been getting ready for the inevitable snowfall. All the schools now have all the ice melt on hand, and we've had the snow throwers up and running and be getting the plow on coming up. And then just the usual plumbing, lighting, heating issues that pop up daily. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Nope.
Good.
I don't. Does anybody have anything? Are you fully staffed right now? You are, right? What, for
Yes.
ish?
Yes. If we didn't have a couple of health issues, yes, we would be
Okay,
fully staffed.
gotcha, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're just down 2 at center, so, yeah. But
Happens.
we'll get there.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, and is Mrs. Borg absent tonight?
She is.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
She
That's
is.
fine. I will say, I really, I don't know if everybody else got a chance to look at them. I loved the new reports. I particularly loved the menu with the details on cost and labor cost and USDA. What do they call this? What do we get for free from the USDA? No, the food.
The calendar cost per meal.
Yeah, but anyway, yes,
Yeah.
I love that. So that is fantastic. And we got the inventory costs this month, and all of that is great. So are those all Mosaic reports? I'm guessing? Or something
The
similar?
meals is done by hand. She has to calculate
okay.
that but yes.
Right.
Yeah, she's working really hard on those reports.
That's great. Love that. Go ahead.
The ones that said Hampton Falls, those aren't Hampton Falls numbers, right? Excuse me. School Nutrition Department,
Yeah, no.
these are Hampton numbers, right?
Or are those examples from Hampton Falls?
I think they're Hampton, I believe that she said.
They're Hampton numbers, probably. She probably. Ooh, wow.
It's Hampton numbers, but even though it said Hampton Falls at the top,
Wow.
I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that these are Hampton numbers, not Hampton Falls.
Okay, which makes sense, yeah.
Right.
Looking through them, I would think they would be much smaller if they were Hampton Falls.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Dr. Costa?
Okay, so November 1st is the deadline for staff to let us know if they're planning to retire. We only had one. I don't know why that's so loud.
They're all having issues. I think,
Okay.
I think the system is having issues.
Okay, I'll try to back away or
Okay.
come closer.
That's gonna
So we
get an
just had-
adjustment here.
Yeah, we just had the one retirement, just to let you know, and that would be Mrs. Griffin that we talked about last month, so that's all set. Other than that, we do not have any other retirements, just for your planning and information. We talked about parent conferences this week. We have Hampton Academies are Wednesday and Thursday, and Center and Marsden are Thursday and Monday Thursday this week, Monday of next week. So some overlap, but we'll have them all completed before the Thanksgiving break, which is great. Emily Fixler, who's here tonight, she's going to talk in just a little bit about how we can support our families in the upcoming months, giving food insecurities and that time of year where we're trying to be thinking of all of our families or people who might need some assistance. So she'll talk about that in just a bit. You heard we are going to participate in the parade. Aloha Hampton is the theme this year, so we're looking forward to that. We had a great turnout on November 4th for Mel Robbins' book, Let Them, with Lane Library. Cameron and I, we had about 45 people registered, and I would say probably about 30, 35 showed up. So a great turnout, and more people that are continuing to be interested. So we'll continue to do that. That's the first Tuesday of the month. It's here from 7 to 8 o'clock. Moving on, we are in the process of conducting an audit of our website in our efforts to make sure that it is giving families what they need, it's accessible. So we're looking at the functionality and the content while considering alternative layouts and formats. We are working with Apogee. They are the host site of our website, so we are working through that. We are also working on a communication flow chart. We have it completed, but we're just trying to figure out the format before we start adding other things. So that's something that's also been done. We also sent out, we talked about email signatures at our leadership team, and we did send out just an information to our staff to ask that we have a standard format for how that looks, so that it would include things like, obviously, their name, their position, and then, of course, the contact number to reach them. So just trying to standardize those emails. We're going to do that. And we're also going to look at how we do that with Reach My Teach. It's a little bit different, but we'll provide a little more information for doing that in December after the Thanksgiving break. Moving on, talking about the Rotary in the sense that we now have a chapter at the middle school, Interact, which we're really excited about. John Nyan, Patrice Baker, and I attended their first meeting. That was on October 21st. You heard about some of the things that they're planning to do. I also want to congratulate Jim Doherty and Sue Antico, who are actually being inducted to the Rotary this evening. It is quite a process, and so big congratulations to the two of them for putting service above self and carrying out that motto, and for being a part of that wonderful organization. I really do appreciate all that they do for us. Moving on. As you know, we have a safety committee that meets, and we are looking specifically at reunification. We had a great meeting last Wednesday we did, and continuing to have our plans evolve, just to let you know. We talked a little bit about Bully Prevention Month in the month of October, and the activities that our schools are all engaged in, thinking about those pro-social behaviors. We celebrate National Kindness Day just in the last week or so. So again, focusing on that. You heard about our efforts to work with the state and demonstrated success on our multi-tiered systems of support. It's a systemic way of looking at academics and behaviors. So that continues, and we were offered the opportunity to do this with demonstrated success and the Department of Ed, which would be free of charge to our district, which is wonderful. You heard that there were teams that we sent to 2 of the trainings in Concord in the last couple of months, and we're continuing that work, which is really about looking at student data, but also having a system, a K-8 system for how we address it. So just being intentional about that, coming up with district goals, and then, of course, drilling down to the school goals. Next month, I will talk a little bit about the Cook Center, but we have continued our second contract year with them. And just looking over, you heard that Neil mentioned that Hampton Academy was 13th in the state of the middle schools. That's out of 270 middle schools. I think that's important to know that out of the 270 middle schools, they are ranked 13th. But also you should know that Marsden School ranks 29th out of 443 elementary schools. This is based on New Hampshire SAS data, which is our assessment data, attendance, and that kind of information, because Center School does not administer a state assessment. They are not eligible. That being said, we know that the work they do at Center School obviously impacts Marsden and Hampton Academy, so just want to clarify that. And then, of course, as we are, believe it or not, ending the end of the first trimester at the end of November, with report cards being released in that first week of December, this is the time when we start to look at those first trimester benchmarks, thinking about, are our students meeting those benchmarks? If not, what might we do to provide some support, assistance, which is really what the multi-tiered systems of support are all about. It's for helping our children who may be struggling academically or behaviorally and coming up with supports to help our students. So that's what that's all about. And you heard from Mrs. Jensen regarding LEA determination. And I think that's really about it, other than obviously we have an immense amount of gratitude for the support we get from our community partners in our PTA, our parents, and all of our stakeholders, the Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce, all of those organizations, and now the Friends of the Hampton Schools. We're pleased to see this new organization that was here this evening, and we will be sure to reach out to them to let them know that we are here to support them. I'm happy to put anything in my newsletter that might help to advertise the WIM fundraiser coming up. I'm happy to do that, and anything I can do to support those parents that have come together in support of our schools. We really do appreciate it. I'm sorry they left before I had a chance to say it. Hopefully, if they're watching or they hear about it, they know that I'm happy to help in any way I can to support their efforts. And I guess I would just say that there are some donations to approve as well.
All right. My suggestion is, unless anybody objects, that going forward, that we put the checks on the consent agenda. That is what a lot of organizations do. And then essentially, we can do, unless there is something big going on, we can do all of the checks and all of the minutes, essentially in one vote, without having to go through them individually. Does anybody have any concerns about that? Okay.
No, just it's an opportunity, though, to give a shout out. So, for example, Hannaford's has given us, speaking of community partners and gratitude, Hannaford's has given our schools thousands of dollars. And I just want to thank them publicly, acknowledge them. And I'm sure the schools are going to be writing thank you notes, but it's also nice to do a public acknowledgement to Hannaford's here in town. Again, another community partner that we're grateful to have in our neighborhood.
That's perfect. And I think also there were several checks from the PTA. We would absolutely want to acknowledge that as well. So.
Absolutely. So that's all. We just like that opportunity. Yeah. To we obviously the PTA is
I would vote
incredible.
We can move them. We can still read through and list them, and then just essentially vote on everything at one time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So I think we're actually at the point where we can invite Ms. Fixler up to discuss food insecurities. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Good evening. Just have a brief presentation to share with you all tonight to talk about resources for families, and definitely with the holidays coming up, I know it's on everyone's mind. Just to sort of guide the presentation, just talking about hierarchy of needs for students, it's really important to address these needs before any academic content is achieved, and this guides me with my work with students and families, and kind of going forward, I'll talk about how what ways I address these needs with students and families. So over the past month, the New Hampshire Food Bank, which is located all over the state, has really increased their services for families, utilizing mobile pantries and connecting with local agencies throughout the state. So in every school district, many families access this resource and other resources to get food. And in every school district, including Hampton, there are students that struggle financially and suit kind of brings along some mental health concerns, trauma. So that's in every school district. And this is a great interactive map that anyone can use, and it's great for families who might be more mobile or who tend to move often. You can plug in, just like anything, your address and zip code, and the food banks will come in for your location where you're at. And most food banks, they won't ask for, they usually ask maybe for your, if you have a SNAP card or an ID, but some food banks, they won't ask for any of that. So it's a really great resource all over the state. And then I work with some great social workers in SAU91 at the high school and also in Seabrook, and we really came together over this past month with the recent strain on families and the more of an increase in demand for food. And we met collaboratively with Hampton Community Coalition, which is right in Hampton, St. Vincent de Paul, right in Hampton, Gather, which is located mainly in Portsmouth, but they do some mobile pantries, and food service directors, both at 21 and 90, to really collaborate. And we put this out, the superintendents put it out in both school districts for families so they could access where you could receive a meal, and also updated our pantry list for families. So it was a great way that both school districts came together to address the recent food insecurities. And 68 Hours is one of the most amazing programs I've ever worked with, and we luckily have one here in Hampton. The whole background, it's a national program, but the whole background is it's supposed to be filling the gap of the weekend so students come ready to learn on Mondays. And it runs right in the community room at Hampton Academy. It's very private for families. This program wouldn't be possible without the volunteers. They do a great job packing the food, labeling it, getting it all ready for families so it looks nice. And then Food for Thought is also a program run out of Hampton Community Coalition that supplements with fresh food, which is great for families. So families and students are getting apples, produce, meat, eggs, dairy. So that's great. And sometimes they even put together little recipes for families to make. And the whole idea was to get the kids involved in cooking and really push that. And it's a confidential program. The bags are coded. And again, many families are already participating. So if there is any family who would like to participate, they can just contact me and get them on the list. Another great opportunity is the RUN Key Card. So if families or students are interested in after-school programs, sports, art programs, music programs, it's a free membership, and it's for mainly Seacoast students, K to 12, really to provide enrichment after school. So you could apply with if you have a Medicaid card, you could apply with a photo of your free and reduced lunch acceptance letter, or have a qualified validator. So myself, a school nurse, a school counselor could refer you to the program, and you'd get this little card in the mail. And it gives you, a lot of places do like half off tuition or half off scholarship. So it's another great program if you're interested in after school activities. This list goes out every year to families K to 8 and can go out again if needed. It's really who I would reach out to if families came to me looking for help with food and clothing, housing assistance, health care, dental care, child care, counseling services, and some additional resources like even First Students numbers on there. So it's a great way when a family is new to the district, they can see all the resources there are in Hampton and maybe in the greater Seacoast. And then it's great for me to refer to the information's right there. I have contacts at a lot of those agencies and can link families directly up if they need any services. So it's definitely a very busy time of year, and it's just important to remember that many students and families may experience some more stress, and I really enjoy being able to work with families during this time of year, and it's a great way for me to start relationships with families if I don't already have one. So just kind of an upcoming calendar. Some of the schools mentioned they do food drives. Each school does one, which is a great way for students to give back to their community, do some volunteer work, and those all go to local pantries who likely are going to be hit harder this holiday season. And so coming up is The fire department does their coat drive, which is called Operation Warm. So students in need of a coat will get a coat. The Thanksgiving distribution's already coming up this week. Again, that takes place in the community room. And then in December is the Holiday Giving Tree, which is a great program that's been running, and the staff here and teachers really are very generous and love to participate in the program. It's a way for students who may not be able to access gifts. They're able to access gifts, and it really comes in through donations of staff, teachers, and other community members. And then the fire department also runs their toy bank every year. And then sort of thinking even after the holidays, I look to January when families might need help with fuel assistance, rental assistance, and again, I can refer back to my resource list for myself or direct families there. And if they need assistance filling things out, I'm happy to help them, or if I can't help them fill it out, I'll direct them to the resource that could. And just to highlight some photos throughout the year, again, families really do get what they need during the holiday season, and the school resource officers are very helpful as well. If there ever needs to be a delivery, they're happy to help me do that. And again, even after the holiday season, families may still need help, and we're here to support them. And if anyone needs resources, they can contact me and work with the family and student. Anyone have any questions or?
No, that was a lot of information. That was great, though. And it's been a tough fall, right?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Very busy.
We really appreciate you putting all that together and putting it out. And we're trying to get that pushed out. I know that you guys have been pushing it out to the community, not just our school community, but kind of on social media and out to the larger community as well. So we appreciate that.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody have any?
So
I think
for-
Andrea has a
Not
comment or
a
question.
But, so for instance, all of
Yes.
this information is available at the library?
Yes, it is.
And all of this information is available at the town offices?
Through the welfare department, I would
Yes.
say.
Yep, the town welfare office.
Yep.
Does it need to be more?
So we send it out, obviously, to our families. The families have received this. We can also put something on Channel 8, our cable station, right? Just to
That's a
get it
good
out
idea.
there. We could
Yep.
definitely do that. But and SAU91 is also sending a similar message. So cross families, we're getting it out K-12.
Many of the local agencies too, I shared copies with
Yeah.
them. So like Hampton Community Coalition, they have copies. St. Vincent de Paul, they have copies. So if families are there, they can share those flyers and resources with them too.
And I've had community religious organizations reach out to me personally and ask. So again, I try to avail myself to any organization that is looking for support so that they know how to direct either their congregants or their families or neighbors or whatever it may be. And I think that if people don't know where to go, they can always reach out to the SAU. We do respond back, and we try to be timely about it so people don't have to wait too long, and we can always connect them with the people they need to be connected to. And yeah.
And Andrea, it may be that I know there's now a table in the foyer into town hall that has a lot of sort of handouts and local information, and so it may be
guess
that's
what I'm thinking
it
of.
may be
If there's people in the public that don't have children in the schools and aren't
Right.
getting this information through the school, I would just hope that there are places where they could go or read
they
about it
are
or hear
definitely
about
the library
The
has
library
done
for
a
sure.
lot.
But I would hope maybe
Yep.
you're right, there's something at the town offices.
I would guess.
Not-
I can't speak
Not
to it
necessarily
directly.
up to the welfare office, but just kind of right
Yep.
there that people could go in and
That
just pick up.
table right there, as you enter town hall on the left, has a lot of flyers and local information, what's going on at the rec department, how to register your boat, stuff like that. I would bet that it's out there.
And then I always worry too about, we've got all this information uptown, but
Is
I
it
wish
getting
there was
out
a place that
too?
was more available in different directions.
Kind of, yeah.
So, there you go.
Anything else good? Thank you very
Okay,
much, Emily.
thank
We
you.
really appreciate it.
Thanks, Emily.
Sorry, I have a lot of.
All right.
What's that? Update on the budget is actually next on the list.
Okay.
So,
I
sorry,
can-
update on the budget is next on the list. So,
I
yes,
will-
you can go. It's fine.
It's
fine.
Okay. Update on the budget. Before I do that, though, I would like to apologize for coming across hostile and rude last year during the last year's budget sessions. So if I did come across hostile and rude, I am sorry. It's not my intentions ever. I am really focused on making sure that our budget's accurate and transparent as possible by following state and federal law. 100% is my main concern. So today I dropped off our budget books at the town hall. I completely interrupted a town hall meeting, didn't realize they were in session. There was nothing on the door. It was quite hilarious. I felt so bad, but I got to say hi to everybody. So the budget books are there for the budget committee. And we have our presentation December 11th at 6 o'clock at the town hall. That will go over the budget for the school. During that time, we'll go over all warrant articles. Warrant articles are still in draft form. Due to there are new laws on the warrant articles that items that need to go on the warrant articles. I would like to explain why tax impacts, I'll start there, why we have not put tax impacts on our warrant articles ever since we became SAU90. We did not adopt RSA 32:5 V-B, and the New Hampshire Department of Revenue has us that we are not adopted that article, so that our lawyer suggests highly not to put tax impacts on that since we did not adopt that article. So SU90 never has yet to put tax impacts on that. However, there's new law this year that on our warrant articles for budget, school budget, we need cost per student on that underneath that warrant article, and we need proficiency scores on that warrant article. This is why our warrant article is still in draft, because I do not get the cost per student from the DOE until the end of December, beginning of January, so right before I have to post it. So it will be in draft form until then. And I'm working with New Hampshire ASBO in our district Southeasters, and they suggest that we should all do the same number of cost per student, and that would come from the DOE. So again, that does not come out until the end of December. So those are two new items that need to be on our warrant articles. The other item is we do need to put tax impact on multi-year warrants. So it has to have 5 years of tax impacts on multi-year warrants. And that is for bonds, such like bonds and leases and school, right. And then they're still having a conversation about that. It would be, so if we, in 3 years, do the C agreement with the teachers and we have a multi-year one, we'd have to put the 5 years or 3 years or how many years on that one warrant article. They have yet to figure out how you are going to tally that tax impact because you don't know what each year is going to bring. So the suggestion is the same tax impact for 3 years would be the same as the first one. We don't have to deal with that this year, so I will still be researching that and find out what the towns in our county have decided to do. The other report that we do have to do this year is House Bill 1265, which has to be put in the newspaper and posted with our warrant articles. And they're 10-year charts for cost per pupil, average teacher costs, and the admin salaries. And that will be done. It has to be on a set piece of paper with no explanation, just a chart.
So you'll see that. I can't explain it. I just can do it. There's a couple, I have to have a set title on it and set numbers, and but that will be done. During the budget on December 11th, I do a presentation. On that presentation, I always put tax impacts on that. That presentation is also presented on our news station, so you can see tax impacts on our news station because that presentation will be showing on that. I also post my presentation on our website, so you can find all of the information that I talk about and tax impact on our website after the presentation. I also make a flyer, so during deliberative and the other town meeting, I'll have flyers with that information on it.
And we did
So it is
discussed
the
the possibility of actually doing that. Sorry. We discussed offline a little bit the possibility of presenting that slideshow at the deliberative session.
Yes, so we have done that in the past, just having it up. We're also probably making a video again that will be running, which will have that information on it. We have it in multiple locations for sure. Other than that, that's really the update for the budget. It's one other thing so we have 3 articles right now that has been voted on by the school board, and that's the school default budget and budget. The second one is the long-term maintenance for the facilities. And then the third is child benefit services. We had talked about putting a 4th one for property, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to complete it by then. Okay. The goal is to, I'm working again with the lawyer to have it written up. He's researching it. We have to have it on warrant. I'm not sure if the town has to have a warrant article to approve it. That's another thing I have to look into.
We should probably back up a little and explain.
Yes.
What we're talking
yes.
about.
Back it up.
Which was next. It was
so
a couple down.
Next. Okay, so
yeah.
we can wait
which
on
is,
that. But
which is fine.
That's not on my draft yet until it actually gets there, but it doesn't have to be voted on by the budget committee because it has no dollar amounts associated with it. Yep. So, does not need to be voted on, but we can talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Mariah, do you think it would be important to have somebody from the law firm that we use explain the law so that it's clear to the public? I don't think it's your intention, and it's never my intention to be rude. I think we say it all the time, we are at your service, and we mean that, you know. People are welcome to come in to talk to us about anything, and we are pretty transparent about what we're doing. But we do have a policy and a law that we are following. So do you think it might be helpful, because we did invite last time Matt Phillips to the meeting, if we could invite maybe Gordon Graham, if he could come, and if he's not available, maybe somebody else who could explain the RSA and the law and why we don't have it on the ballot. I'm just thinking that people should know why. It seems like that's unclear, and I'm not trying to be unclear.
Yes.
I'm trying to be clear.
Also post it on the website, the actual law and why they tell us not to put it on there. I have that email and the law page, so I can post that right on our website.
I'm just thinking though.
But yes, if we need more detail,
I think we do.
I do think this. I think this will absolutely come up again at the deliberative session. We may even see, citizen warrant articles related to it, and which is fine. So again, I think if Mr. Graham was available to answer
that might be
those kind
helpful.
of questions, I've read it several times, and it's it's still a little fuzzy to me as a non-attorney. So, and I guess one other thing I did want to say is I don't know if the public understands. These meetings are not so bad. We are a small group of people. There is a small group of people that we know well sitting in the audience, and the deliberative sessions are a lot. If your job is not public speaking, we are sitting on a stage in front of a large group of people. Some wish us well, not all do. And public speaking can be stressful. And I just want to remind everyone of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add quickly, having read the correspondence from the attorney that we pay as a school district to represent us, I interpret it as it is not their recommendation for us to do this. However, there is a remedy for anyone in the town if they would like to see the tax impacts on a ballot, but that the appropriate remedy is to essentially petition warrant article to have it on there. So there is an avenue to do it. But that our recommendation, and we're following the advice of our lawyer, is that we as a board need not do that. I could be wrong in my
I appreciate it. Yes,
interpretation.
that was my general understanding. So.
But, okay, I'm very confused, I think.
So, an
So-
estimated tax impact, I did the original tax impact with 2024 tax numbers because 2025 didn't come out yet. And so it's a guesstimate. It is not accurate. It's a guesstimate with the tax numbers. And I think that one of the reasons why they suggested it is it can get really confusing because you are just giving one amount by the thousands and people want it broken down by all these different ways. And it's when you're already trying to have to come up with cost per student and now proficiencies and all this other numbers, it gets so that people are, okay, well, that you're saying it's 68 cents per thousand, but that's when they get their tax bill, then they turn around and they take that, and it's not always that. So I think that's some of the reasons why they stopped doing that, because it gets muddy. And if you're going, so I'm not really sure where is it coming from. Is it certain warrant articles that they want it in there because they want to prove that it's not that much and you should vote on it, or if it's that our budget is too much and they don't want to vote on it. So I'm not really sure which way and why they're concerned about that. I understand, it's a lot of money. A school's a lot of money, for sure. And New Hampshire has their towns pay for the majority of their schools, and it's a tough sell, and I understand that, and I understand why some people want to see that, but it's an estimate.
We don't want to provide inaccurate information
Right.
on essentially a legal document.
But am I to understand that in the future, you will need to put tax impact
On a
and
specific type
on a
of
specific
warrant
type that have
article.
multi-year agreements?
Multi-year, so not 1 year. And
Okay,
then
so we don't have to-
still an estimate.
Okay, but we
Yeah.
don't need to worry about that this year because we've
We
got
don't
our
have any
multi-year
warrant articles that
contracts.
would-
Right. So
But
we,
I
okay.
think what we do have to add this year is cost per student
Cost
and
per student.
student proficiency,
Correct.
and that is being added to the ballot, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I think if a majority of the people in Hampton who show up and vote want to see our guesstimate of what this is going to do, there is a path
Right.
forward for them
Yes.
to do that. It's
Yep.
just, this may not be the appropriate venue.
Would you repeat that path one more
Yeah,
time for
so,
people?
so essentially they can submit a petition warrant article to say that should this be on the ballot from now on going forward? And if they were to succeed and had enough votes, then yes, it would be.
And I believe that's something that happened last year at the town deliberative session. I don't know how it ended up, but I know that there were motions. It was whether it was going to be for a $350,000 house, or it was going to be per 100, or if it was going to be per 1,000. I mean, I remember that it was a lot.
So on the
That's where it gets
a little hinky.
yeah, because you can't put all of those numbers on there. You have to pick one way, and so.
And I think it's hard too because you never want to put numbers that can make someone feel a certain way when there's no avenue for context.
Yes.
So is a school budget huge, and is that where the majority of our property taxes are allocated? Yes. However, giving people that knee-jerk reaction without the opportunity to explain why those figures are important and what impact they have could be a detriment to, prioritizing education for the kids in our town, which I think the people in Hampton have pretty regularly and loudly supported. So I feel like there is a big potential for people to misunderstand or misconstrue what we're saying. There's a tough challenge in standardizing that data in a way that makes sense to all the people who will consume it. And there's whether or not we're intending it, we're presenting it with a bias because we're only letting people see it through a tiny little lens. So if I were to kind of hazard a guess to why our attorney would advise against it, it would be that we don't have an opportunity to tell those people what those numbers mean in a way that will make sense to everyone. And so it's very high risk for very little reward.
Agreed.
So if you could come and explain that, right, and answer their questions, that would really be the ideal if we could do that. So, yeah.
All right. So next on the list is Batchelder Pond property. This has been something that's been bouncing around for a while. I have tried sort of not to have a strong public opinion on it, and the truth is I do have a strong opinion on it. I personally believe, and I would, if I had the opportunity, vote to donate the property to the town and the Hampton Conservation Commission. And I am not going to make a motion for that tonight, but I would like to consider that for next month, essentially. Brianna Hagan from the Conservation Commission was not available tonight. I think we should have a really big public conversation about it in December. Have Brianna here, have Renee Boudreau. He is also from the rec department. He is also very interested in using the property to benefit the town, to have programs. We would need to discuss with them how much it might cost for upkeep for the property. We are currently asking the taxpayers for $50,000 upcoming
For vegetation.
to
clean up
the pond.
The pond.
Essentially. So I just didn't want anyone to be surprised by that. I think you had spoken to
Right,
Brianna.
so-
Would you like? I'm sorry. Feel free to.
No. I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, feel free
The
to.
only problem that I see, well, it's kind of out of our hands in some way because the Conservation Commission would need to come to us with the proposal. We wouldn't go to them and say, hey, you want to, I think it's,
Oh no, you can.
we could do it the other way around.
Essentially, people all over town donate their property to the Conservation Commission. There is a letter also from Gordon Graham, saying that we would need, essentially, we would need to agree that that's what we felt we should do, and we would need a warrant article, and the town would need to vote on whether they felt that that was appropriate or not. Go ahead.
Okay.
Is the intent to get this on the ballot this spring?
I would love to. I don't know if we are going to be able to in time. Gordon mentioned that he was going to try to make up a draft.
So he's working
warrant
on
article.
language just in case, because it does take time because he has to research the land property because it has to detail.
He had to pull the deed.
Pull the
and
deeds.
all
He has
that.
to, the detail of how much land and I don't think we have to put an estimated cost on that to say what the property's worth, but we might. So he's looking into all that and then coming up with wording for us just in case. So if that is the decision and the way we want to go, we'll have it handy. I think it's a great idea to make sure that nothing happens to the property.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, my understanding, I'm not a lifelong Hampton resident, but I've been here for a minute. It's like a beloved local institution that
It is.
people who have grown up here and spent time here really care deeply about.
Yep.
I think we probably owe the public like a listening session.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons that I wanted to put it. I wanted to sort of give everyone a heads up what I was thinking, what I was sort of hoping to do. We can talk about it more in December. We can talk about the deliberative session if we get there in time. And if not, if we don't, that's fine. I think this would be a great project moving forward over the next year. So.
Okay, I have like just 2 questions, I guess.
Yes.
Will it make a difference, and maybe this is something that the lawyer will have to tell us, will it make a difference if just the conservation, if it's just the Conservation Commission accepting this land from us, as opposed to the Conservation Commission and the Rec Department?
My understanding from Brianna is that essentially the Conservation Commission is sort of under the aegis of the town. And so we would be able to, I believe we would be able to do both. My intention was to let the attorney do his research. We should have a conversation with Rec, with possibly with Jamie Sullivan, the town manager, and with Brianna. So we are not necessarily right here and ready, but I just want to get us moving on it.
I
That's
guess
my hope.
My other thought
Of
would
course.
be, how soon, I'm not trying to push it, but I am trying to push it, because we have been pushing this down the
Correct.
road. Unfortunately,
Yes,
you
exactly.
folks, but we've just been pushing this down the road for forever, it
years.
feels
Yes.
like. And I just wish we could have this conversation sooner rather than later.
Yes.
And if it was on the agenda for December, could we get the parties involved to
I
come
believe that Brianna is okay to come. I am happy to invite Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Boudreau and see if they are available. Because yes, I would like to, let's get this ball rolling.
Right. Would you two be okay with that?
Yep.
As newer members?
Yeah, I'd be interested. I think Sarah's idea for a listening session is important. I think incorporating the town lawyer is a good idea, because I'd be interested in hearing, what kind of covenants can we attach to this gift so that, it can be sold for redevelopment, but also like, what about school use?
Yes.
Those would be the questions that I would have personally.
Absolutely. I agree.
I believe when I originally talked to her last year, once you start to do it legally, you can put provisions in. So say you can't build on it, you can utilize it for these purposes. So I think we have some say once we finalize it with them. So
there's a potential, again, pushing the ball. There's a potential to get a warrant article for March without having all of the details ironed out completely. Just a general, no?
I would think a warrant article would need to have certain details on it, certainly.
I think that the warrant article really just needs to say that they vote to give it to conservation. And if that's the case, then I think we're able to do that. And then once it's voted on yes or no, go to the next step with lawyers and finalize the items.
Well, I'm wondering if the language could be something to the effect of voting to give it to the, Conservation Commission with certain restrictions, preventing redevelopment and or allowing school use, ongoing school use, something to that effect.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's the goal.
I know, right? I know. Candace, feel free. Yes. You don't have anything else to do, right? No big deal. I know.
I just would love to see it protected before
Yes.
it gets any longer.
And before it
'cause you
costs
never know what
us
happens.
more money. That's the other thing. We want to see it protected. We also don't want it to see it becoming a continuing liability.
Well, and I
the
think
school
it's
district if
hard
we can help
because the town, either if it's town-owned or school-owned, that's the people are still gonna have to fix it. Like, we're still gonna have to put it on a warrant article. We're just gonna have to, raise tax money to fix it, unfortunately. But I think that it's hard for the school to do that. I think it's a loved property. It really should be the town's.
Okay. So now your actual report is next.
Okay, so my actual report. So it's basic finances. I do want to mention grants have been a struggle. We've been trying to get them passed. We're getting the funds. They're just taking a long time to approve our verbiage, like returning it 10 times, and it's not the norm, and it's not just our district, it's all over New Hampshire, and it's been it's a really hard struggle, but we're working on that, and getting them reported and utilizing the funds. The other item is, you did see Mary's new reports. They're lovely, but it shows that the average cost per meal for October was $4.50, and we charged $3.50. So I just wanted to say that out loud. So when we do discuss why food service is that the fund balance has to cover food service, these are some of the reasons. Just in the cost per meal is one perfect example. But Mary's doing really good at trying to get the reports for us. I think that the main goal is to feed students, and fed bellies are so much better with education and being able to sit and focus. So it is definitely the school district's concern, obviously, is to make sure that we are feeding the students. Other than that, it's just our basic monthly report. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
You have a permission to accept also $57,200?
Oh, yes, I do. For the town of Hampton, for cable franchise.
Yep.
For $57,200, if we could.
We'll do that when we go through.
Yeah,
Just to
do it all.
We'll read all of them. Yeah.
That on the radar, so we don't forget.
I think that is it.
Does anybody have any questions for Mariah before we go ahead? All right, policy review. So, I'm sorry, personnel, updated job descriptions, second read. So there was
We added it.
the one that you were asking about that was added. Yep. That was added. So, do we have any more questions or concerns about the job descriptions? No? Okay. So would anyone like to move to, approve those is what we're doing?
I'll make a motion to approve all of the different job descriptions that we were given on the various positions in SAU90.
All right, all in favor? All right.
Thank you.
And now policies. So we are looking for a vote on second read, school board member authority, board member or district officer resignation, accident reports, class size, instructional resources, and instructional resources plan. I believe that is it for a vote this evening. Does that sound right? Sorry, do you have a question? Of course, absolutely.
Let's see. The DAF, Administration of Federal Grants. Can I ask a question about that one?
That's a first read. Why don't we do the second
Oh,
read?
second read,
Let's do this-
sorry.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because we're going to vote, and then we can do, let's do the vote on second reads, and then, yes, we can go through and discuss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have any on the second reads.
You good? Okay, all right. Would someone like to move the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aforementioned policies? Policy committee?
You want me to make a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve all the second read policies that we had done last time.
All right. I'll second that. Does anybody have any questions or concerns on those? All right, all in favor? Okay, so now we can answer questions on first reads.
Yeah, DAF.
And you'll have to give me a minute because this is a
Okay,
190-page
So
packet.
the first one I had was DAF, Administration of Federal Grants.
What page
pa-
you
yeah,
on?
what
Oh,
page is that,
Okay,
if you don't mind?
it's,
The second page of 2, DAF, is that what it is?
DAF. But what's page number?
I
is
don't think it gives, we
It
don't
does-
have a- I don't
that's
have
the
a page
problem.
number.
Okay.
So
It
if
doesn't.
you go
So-
through, it's the
I know.
DAF.
I'm having
right.
to put in
page
a page
2 of
number.
2.
Okay.
2 of 2.
Yep.
I guess I just wanted to know, what is HUAWEI or CTE Technologies?
Are you on page? Oh. Without limitation, the UGG.
Yeah, that's it. Don't know what this
Mariah, do you know
stands-
what that is? UGG, without limitation, the UGG. It's the DAF one, which is on federal grants. And it says a policy establishes minimum standards regarding, I'm gonna guess it's based on a law, because this is required by law. I'm going to guess this is the language we had in our prior. The only changes are the red. So that was in the previous one in 2021.
Okay.
We can find out for you, though.
No, I just didn't,
We can put a hold on it.
know what it stood for or what those technologies are.
Hold on. When we do see the technology.
I know what UGG is, I did find that out.
Where do you see the technology one, though? Oh, CFR. Code of Federal Regulations and Uniform Grant Guidance.
Uniform Grant
That's what it is.
Guidance.
Uniform Grant Guidance and Code of Federal Regulations. So the Uniform Grant Guidance would be the ones that are set forth by, I would think, the federal government as it pertains to federal grants. And then the Code of Federal Regulations is how they are regulated or how we ensure compliance, right? Okay. That's what it is. Yeah, it's on the first paragraph.
I check another one?
Go for it.
Okay.
I love it.
Daily physical activity.
What page are we on?
Okay, first read, it is IMAH.
I-M-A-H. Okay, we gotta find it. All right, hold on. It's gonna be before J. IMBA.
IMAH.
It doesn't find anything, not a single thing. Nope.
Okay,
It's
physical.
called daily physical activity.
Okay.
Well, you
Oh,
handed
I'm
me all
almost
these and
there.
I did them, so I just want you to know. I went through. Anyway, there's a typo.
Oh,
Wait a minute, let's, I gotta find it, because I'm like,
Okay. It says daily physical activity, section I, code IMAH.
okay. What page is it, 120?
Oh, see, she's got it online and I'm doing this.
Oh, 120.
By the
Oh,
paper.
Thank you. My PDF reader.
All right, so which one is it?
won't
Number
find
what
anything.
is it?
Okay, so it's down under, it's where the red starts.
Okay,
The district's well committee, and it should
Wellness.
say wellness.
yep.
Okay, and then right above it, number 9, institute a tracking and evaluation method to assure that all students are engaging in developmentally appropriate daily physical activity.
Yep.
I guess our tracking and evaluation of the daily activity of our students is what? Their grade in PE, their,
Good question.
You know, that's something I'm sure that Ellen looked at, right, is my guess. We can certainly follow up with them,
and
because,
you know what, it's only a bugaboo with me, because as a former phys ed teacher, I know for a fact that our kids are not getting daily physical education in school.
Well, and they
And
would
there's
say-
nothing you can do about it. I get it. I've been fighting this battle for over
My
20
guess-
years.
my guess is that their recess time their
Counts.
PE time,
Yes.
all of that stuff would count towards it. But you're right. I mean, and I'm gonna guess that that's what they're counting. That they're outside in fresh air, they're
Moving around.
I guess I'm just putting it out there to the universe that our students are not getting what
Yes.
this policy says
100%
they're
agree.
supposed to get.
Yes.
And I guess, like I said, it's just my little pet peeve. 30 to 60 minutes each day to
Well,
minimize health risks. And our
And
kids,
along with that, how many of the ones are we approving are additional subjects that our state legislature is making sure that we add into our curriculum
right.
in our already limited time?
I think we could, though, I do want to say that the PE teachers have looked at this. So I think what we could do is we could say, just out of curiosity, because this is a first read, we can go back to them and say, talk to us a little bit about this and give us how you might do that. And I know that.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
they've looked at it,
And
and
they've-
I know that they're as much conflicted by this
I'm
as
sure they
as
are.
I am, but
And the
it
problem
just-
is, it's a priority and is required by law. So there's not a lot they can do about it, other than adhere to it. However, to your point, you know, other than adding time to our day to make sure, and I do see, by the way, like a lot of times Marsden is out and using the walking trail, and I do see that, or they're walking when they can. Am I tracking it? You know, I think that is the bigger question, but I would be curious to know, and I'm gonna guess there's probably not a lot of guidelines to this, other than that kids are outside, they're getting fresh air, and they're exposed to physical activity.
We do have, there was a bill introduced this legislative session mandating it, which I want, it was either 60 or 90 minutes, K through 8.
Every day?
Just note.
60 to 90 minutes.
I'd have to go back and dig it
We
up.
would
I don't have it off the
honestly,
top of my
we
head.
would need to add time to the
Right.
day.
We would.
It was just
I don't see-
the report on the introduction.
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
Well,
Just
they
do
would
counting,
probably say
right? No
the
other
5
math.
minutes in between classes, they would count that they're moving, right?
Yeah.
It would be that kind of stuff, 5 minutes in between class that they're moving. The time as they're coming to school.
Yeah.
I think they would start doing those kinds of minutes. The time that they're outside, the
Yep.
time they're in PE, that's what they would do. But to your point, Wendy, you're right, we could extend the day.
Yeah.
That's a whole other, right?
Yep, anyway. Sorry to
Well,
open
no,
up a can
because
of
you-
worms,
Not
but
at all.
like I
Not at
said,
all.
to me,
It's
it's
an
You want the
important
PE
topic.
teachers to come in next month?
No,
Well,
they've
I-
got enough on their plate.
I don't wanna-
No,
I
I
don't
know
wanna-
I know that they are cognizant of what I'm talking about,
Yes.
more than anyone else. They
And
know.
I would say that our principals are
It's
have
always
seemed
been-
pretty aware
Yeah.
of it.
I mean, we
and
know
did-
play in the younger grades is
Yep.
as important, no offense to anyone, as reading and math.
Yep.
And I could say, I feel more confident with
Yep.
K-5 since they have a 25-minute
Yes.
recess
Right.
time, and then they have, yeah,
Yes.
they're hitting
Yep.
it. It's really
It's
here.
tougher
they're
here.
not
I
in
mean,
a
we've
after-school
all
sport.
we've all seen
Right.
the kids sitting outside during snack, lined up against the wall. There are kids who play basketball, who do stuff. The boys who run
Yeah.
around, but there's that group of kids who basically you can't make them get up. And move.
Well, that's the other piece of it.
No, but that's where I guess, and I know, again, our phys ed teachers are very good about this, but trying to get students more interested in recreational activities and lifelong pursuits. Also, let me just put the plug in, that's why we need a pool in Hampton. Anyway.
I agree. let's all vote for the hub, and it should have a pool. 100%.
Have a pool.
I do not
Okay.
represent the librarian saying that.
I will let go of that
Yeah.
now, and I'll just bring to your attention one more typo, if that's
Yeah,
what
go
you
for it.
want.
Yes,
Okay, this is
absolutely.
on remote distance education.
Where are you?
It's, okay, it is the,
Is it
IMBA.
IMBA?
yes,
Must be.
IMBA. It's number 7 on that list.
Okay, I see it.
And it says, "The principal will assign a teacher to monitor students' progress, dreading by
Dreading
assignments
of
and
assignments.
testing."
Yep.
Okay,
All right,
that's
we'll just
funny.
get rid of the D. Yep, we got it.
Sorry, just again.
Just sure.
The dread, yeah. And then the last one I guess I had questions about was the patriotic exercises.
that?
That's right after that.
IMDA, it's right
Yep,
after
It's
that.
the next one.
Yes, yes, and
And
that's,
that
by
is
the way,
new state law.
that is new state law, and I can tell you that we've always had to acknowledge Constitution and Citizenship Day. That's always been, because we get federal funds.
Is that the same day?
the
Constitution
17th.
and Citizenship
Yes,
Day? It's
September
September
17th.
17th,
It
but
is.
both of those, that is the same day?
Yep, it is.
Okay, and then. Do we acknowledge in April General John
That's new.
Stark Day?
That is new, and I
We
put it
will
on my
now.
calendar, so I would not forget.
Okay.
But yeah, anyone who receives federal grants, and we do, has to acknowledge Constitution Day or Citizenship Day, and I know that was always the topic.
And
on our-
I believe our schools are doing that, from what
I'm not
I've.
sure about General Stock Day, but we'll
No,
get that
no,
on there.
that's the only one I said.
Yeah.
I know they're not doing General John Stark Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Stock Park in
John
Manchester.
Stark.
I was cringing. I was like, I don't know if everybody knows who General John Stark was. I did not. I was expecting like a very polarizing figure.
Oh, you're muted. Sorry, I can hear him.
At a high level,
Thanks, Nick.
General John Stark seems fine.
Thank you for
Not,
the
I guess,
rousing
Not
endorsement.
problematic from my first
Well,
delve into.
there's
I'm sure if you
something
go
to
deep
be
enough,
said
you
for
find
that.
something
All right.
there. But there could have been worse people to celebrate, I
Yeah, I
suppose.
think I wound up putting it in my calendar just so I wouldn't forget him.
Perfect.
Yeah, we should have a party.
Good job.
We should.
So,
We,
but yeah, I
we
mean,
appreciate.
you're-
I mean, it's
you're
a
right. You're
it
right
is a
to
state
ask
law.
about this.
We do not want to get tripped up by something.
Yes, I did.
Like that.
John Stark Day
John
is
Stark
on
Day,
April
April
13th.
13th. John Stark.
I think that's a good plan. I'll be honest. Do we want to put forth a motion to do away with spirit days? Because I could get behind that. See, I look at all the parents making.
I think we should leave it up to them.
No, I don't. At least not in this room. Anyway, just kidding. Sort
guess
of.
my
Kidding, not kidding.
I know.
I know they're going to be here any minute. Okay. Anyway, sorry, we're going
That's
down a
okay.
rabbit hole.
On JLCF Wellness,
JL.
JLCF Wellness. And again, I'm sorry, I'm doing it on paper.
Yep, I'm there.
JLCF. I guess I was just wondering, do we have a triennial progress assessment by our food service director? That's what it says we're supposed to have.
That's a great question. I can tell you that as part of our wellness committee, we do have, it's every 3 years, the food.
Right.
So it's.
So I know, being on the wellness committee, that we cover pretty much everything on here. I just didn't know if food service director did a triennial progress assessment.
On the policy, I think we wrap it into our wellness committee, but I
Okay.
do think that it would be important for the new person coming on to realize it's a triennial
Right.
review.
I can
I
look
was
to
thinking the
see
same
if there's some in the past, so we have examples, because I'm sure that I've had to upload it to the state, so I can look.
Yeah, that would be
but
good if you
it's-
could look and
I have
see.
not seen one since I've been in this position, so, but I look. And I
Yeah.
could also reach out to the Miss Tuck, because if it was done, she would have probably dealt with it, so I
Okay.
can ask that
I just
too,
don't
if we
wanna be
can't find
caught
anything.
Not following when we're looking for funds. I don't want someone to say, you didn't do this, and you can't have those funds.
I do think that because of our health trust, and we're required to have the meetings, we have them like three times a year, I do think that also helps, right?
But this specifically says by food service director. That's why I just wanted to make sure that we've got that ready to go for the future.
Yep.
And then my last question, because you're probably ready to shoot me now, but why are we rescinding all of these ones that say rescind?
Because the New Hampshire School Boards Association has pulled them.
They have pulled them?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Just leave it on, man.
So it does say on JLCF that the food service director will assess. I was just making the point that it does not say will report on that assessment, so it does
Okay.
stand to reason maybe she assessed it, found it compliant, and moved on.
Yeah, I know every year I do get like all the minutes, all the items that we've done, and I have a full report because I have to give that to the state, so I'm sure we have. Yeah.
And I do think it kind of ties into the district wellness committee where it talks about no less than 3 times a year. She is on that committee. So I'm thinking that it's probably all part of that work. But yeah. And you come to those meetings sometimes, mostly.
Well, I'm at the,
Yeah.
no, so I do understand, but
Yep. Yeah. No. Anything else that you caught? Because I'm sure that given all the policies that we have been updating, and there will be more next month, because they're just, it's a hamster wheel for us. A lot of it is references, is what we found this past time we met on Monday. A lot of it was just adding references, but it is a lot of work for Erin, who is then, pulling them, writing them, updating them. It's heavy eye work is what I would say too, and sometimes to not see it happens. So, yeah, so thanks for catching up.
Actually, just a side note about Erin, just so everybody's aware, she went through, at my request, on the website, basically our history of agendas and minutes, which were there, but were saved in many different ways and not particularly searchable. She went through and basically created a standard for that. They are all in order. It is easy to tell what I know. I felt the exact same way, so it made me very happy. They look very nice and tidy and in order, and it looks great, so much, much thanks to her.
That's one of her skills. She
Yes.
loves doing that work. She's a huge organizer. She's great about formatting. I appreciate it tremendously too.
I do too.
Yeah.
So. All right, so consent agenda. I would say we have 2 big things. So we have checks.
Yep.
So I will read the list, tell me if I miss any.
Okay.
I have Center School has a Hannaford Helps check in the amount of $3,139.
Yep.
Marston, I believe that's the only one for Center School.
$2,500 also
From,
for-
was
from
that
Sam
Center? Okay.
for Center.
Okay,
from,
sorry. Craft Corps?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I just had it on the wrong school.
That's
So,
okay.
$2,500 from Craft Corps, which looked like that was going to be a donation to use for school equipment.
So it looks like it's for classroom supplies for students.
Okay, gotcha, which is
Yep.
fantastic. So then Marston is PTA, $305, and Hannaford Helps, $2,914. Is
Yeah.
that correct? That's
Correct.
amazing. And then Town of Hampton, $57,200, and that is cable TV money?
Yep. Cable
Correct.
franchise fees, correct.
Yeah, cable franchise fees.
Yep.
All right, so. Which is amazing. And then for minutes, we have board meeting and non-public meeting of October 14th, 2025, budget work session minutes of October 15th, October 22nd, and October 29th. Does anybody have any sort of comments, changes, anything about the minutes? All right, then do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? All right. All right, all in favor? Okay, that gets all of those. All right. Do I have anyone here for public comment on agenda items? Seeing none. Do we have any need for non-public session? It's a miracle. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you very much.